Hi everybody, good morning. It is Worship Wednesday. Of course, every day is a good day to worship the Lord because it's not an event, right? It's a lifestyle. When we remember day by day the goodness of the Lord, it invites good things into our lives, into our homes, into our families. And you know, when the Lord wants to bless you, often He'll bring a person into your life. When the enemy wants to destroy you, often He'll bring a person into your life. So you might think that that person is the problem. Well, they may be the deliverer of the problem, but they are not really your problem. The Apostle Paul brought us the revelation that we don't wage war against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities and rulers of darkness in the heavenly places, high places. So I think it's probably a good thing to remind ourselves today. In fact, I wrote an email just a few minutes ago to a man who was a surprise blessing in my life. I was working on a project in Israel with a longtime friend, Eitan Shishkov. I'm sure that many of you watching during these Worship Wednesdays might know him. He's pastoring in Haifa, Israel, as he has been for, I don't know, 20 years or maybe even more than that. Anyway, I met a man that was working with him as we worked together. Hope that's not confusing. Probably is, but... And over the years, after working on that project, he and I have become very close friends, and he's really blessed my life. And so I just wrote him an email today to say thank you. That was a long way of saying, for Worship Wednesday this morning, I'm remembering another man who was a surprise blessing in my life. In fact, the song that I have under my fingers in this guitar this morning, he wrote. It was, I believe, the first worship song that he ever wrote. Mark Pinsky is his name. He left us here on this planet about a year and a half ago to take up his reward, which I still think was too soon, too early, but good for him and a little more difficult for us. Anyway, we met. I had just moved my family to Beth Messiah Congregation in Rockville, Maryland, and the year is 1981. So Nathan, who's operating the camera and sitting here at my feet this morning, was brand new to the world. And at 6 months old, I believe, we pulled up our roots in, where were we? We've lived so many places for 10 minutes. We were in Bloomington, Indiana, and we trekked across the country to Maryland. No job, no way to support my family, wife and one son, no goldfish at that point. And took up life at Beth Messiah as the worship leader, cantor, and whatever, for no pay. But we did it because we believed we were called. Anyway, one of the first couple weeks I was there, met a young man. We were all young back in those days. Mark Pinsky had just laid down his guitar after years of rock and roll music. He was playing in studios, making a living, nightclubs and stuff. Pinsky, his nickname was Chopper because he had good chops on the guitar and music lingo. So he said to me one day, Paul, I think I'd like to start playing guitar again, but I want to play it for the Lord. And he said, I'm a little concerned because this instrument was not used for God's glory, but to pay bills, and really enjoyed it. I said, well, you know, Mark, I don't believe that the Lord is into wasted time. And maybe all that time you spent in those studios and playing your rock and roll music was preparation for a higher calling. So he was over at my apartment that night for dinner, invited him over, and we went downstairs and prayed together. And he said, would you lay hands on me and pray? Because if I'm going to play my guitar, I would like to write songs of worship to the Lord. I've never written a worship song. And I said, sure. I remember I got up from my chair. We were sitting facing each other in some fold-up chairs I had. And I stood behind him and laid hands on his shoulders and then on his head and prayed that the Lord would bless him with songs of praise and worship. Well, the story continues that I didn't expect to take this long, but a couple days later, he came back with his guitar and he said, what do you think about this? And he played the song that I am strumming right now. It's called Oh Give Thanks, and it comes from Psalm 105. Oh, give thanks to the Lord and call on his name. Sing to him and praise him. Tell of all his wonderful acts. Glory in his name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Look to the Lord in his strength. Seek his face always. The psalm goes on to remind Israel of the amazing deeds that the Lord did, bringing our ancestors out of Egypt with a mighty arm and strong acts, miracles. And the psalm ends with a praise to the Lord. So, remembering my dear friend this morning, Mark Pinsky, and the blessing that he was not only to my life, but to thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even more, because of his heart and desire to worship the King. And oh, give thanks to the Lord, call upon his name, seek the Lord and his strength, come and bless his holy name. And this word ends the whole psalm. Sing to him and praise him, glory to so does love of my soul, to the song of songs and romance winter's past and the spring has come, and oh, sing love of my soul, sing the song of songs and romance. The Lord is a singer. The prophet Zephaniah says he sings over us psalms of deliverance. King David recognized the song of the Lord and that he sings over us in the night hour. He sings over us songs of deliverance. He works on behalf of those that he loves. Even while we sleep, he works on behalf of those who call on his name in righteousness. So again, this Wednesday, wherever you may find yourself, whether you're dancing with hinds feet on high places, or you're looking for that refreshing cup of water in the valley. Remember, the valleys are places where the water's not up on top of the mountain. It hits the top of the mountain, but then it collects in the valleys to refresh those who are walking through difficult places. And I pray that these Worship Wednesdays are times of refreshing for you. They certainly are for me. prophet Elijah called for a minstrel. There's something about the sound of strings that's not only pleasant to the ear, but also provokes the presence of the Lord. King David said that he inhabits those praises. So again, encouragement for you today. Let the words of your mouth and the meditation of your heart be for a psalm, a hymn of praise. We have been creating, while these days of masks and being sequestered are upon us and seem to be lengthening, just when I thought we'd be back out again on the trail, the doors continue to close. But I'm not afraid. You know, that's where our sustenance has been for decades and decades as we go out to minister. Those offerings and donations have sustained us and kept the wheels on the cart. These days are very different. So I'd like to invite you today, if you haven't become a partner with us, this is a great time to do that. If you find yourself with some extra seed and you're saying, well, I'd like to find a place to put it, I'd like to invite you to join us as a world partner today. We've prepared something brand new to encourage you to do that. So if you click on the description here on this page, there'll be links there to take you to it. And if you join us as a world partner today, we have a brand new CD called Roar from Zion, matching the title of our last full-length worship production that we recorded live in Jerusalem with amazing people. The Nashville Symphony String Orchestra, some of the best players in the world who love the Lord. Singers, some wonderful people that you probably know. Joshua Aaron joined us on that. Sarah Lieberman, my daughter-in-law Shay Wilbur wrote a song and she joined us on that. My other daughter-in-law, Malky Wilbur, she was a part of the chorale singers with us. It was an amazing thing. But and that's also available at our website. Here again on the description, you can click and go to our website, wilburministries.com. But if you join us today as a world partner, and that's $25 a month, and if you do it for just 6 months, it would be such a blessing to us during this time of sequestering at home. Although we are very busy, we'll send you this brand new CD. In fact, I want to offer this to you too. If you join us today as a result of Worship Wednesday, I'll also send you this new Selah CD if you join us as a world partner today. Now you can own this CD as well. Again, click on the description and just order the Selah CD. This is instrumental, as is the Roar from Zion. And just put it on continuous play and let these songs invite the presence of the Lord in your home, in your car, in your cubicle, on your iPod, your phone, your smartphone, however you listen, and give your ears a break from all the other stuff and edify your spirit man today. So if you join us today as a world partner, I'll send both of those, including the brand new one. What else would I like to remind you of? Of course, we have a new app, which week by week is getting older as I discuss it. But if you go to the App Store and you'd like to see all the other things that we're doing, all of the media, the teaching, the Shabbat in your home, First Friday, music, and what else do we do? Motivational Monday. That's all there, and it's free. All you have to do is go to the App Store, download the app, and then it's at Wilbur Ministries on the App Store. And then you can see all that stuff, enjoy it for free. I'd also like to remind you that Friday at 6 p.m. we broadcast this week's episode of Shabbat in Your Home. And we're going to have some special guests with us this week that I won't tell you about. You have to log in to see it. But I think it'd be a nice surprise for you. So join us for Motivational Monday, and join us as you are right now for Worship Wednesday, and then Shabbat in your home. And we'd love to host you right here. Every Wednesday we come to you live on Facebook, and then we push it over there to Instagram. And this is also going out to Israel every week. It's being picked up and rebroadcast by our friends at Revive Israel Tikkun Global. And we're reaching out around the world. In just a few minutes, I'll be on a Zoom call of the restoration of relationship between Jews and Arabs. And we'll be speaking with our Arab Christian brothers from all over the Arab world. That's another thing that we're doing, Worship Wednesdays right after this slot. So if you'll keep us in prayer, the Lord is doing amazing things. We're writing new songs every week. Just got a new setting of the Kaddish, which will be pushing out soon. A new setting for Psalm 103. And it's just amazing. We're in a writing mode, finishing up the book, Roar from Zion, with Salem Publishing. Whew, lots of stuff going on. But it's all for you, to edify you, to provoke you to godliness, righteousness, peace, and joy, and prayerfully just a day filled with the goodness of the Lord. So thank you again for joining us. Pray that today has been a blessing to you. I want to encourage you, remember and pray for those people that the Lord has brought into your life over the past that were a big blessing to you. I'm thankful for my friend Mark Pinsky, and I know that one day I'll get to play guitar with him again. Not today, but soon, and very soon, because we have that hope of the glory of the presence of the Lord. So until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. And may the Lord lift up his countenance upon you today, turn his face toward you, and give you his peace. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom.